It's not that I don't care about other people's children. I just, and it's not to sound selfish, but I do what I need to do to protect myself.
Tonight, Fox 13 News investigates how a registered sex offender was allowed to volunteer on a high school campus in Box Elder County. Jeremy Rose used to be a police officer in Tremonton until he was convicted of multiple sex crimes against a high school-aged girl back in 2014.
He served less than 9 months behind bars. Fox 13 News investigative reporter Adam Herbett spoke to Rose in an exclusive interview, and Adam joins us tonight in studio. Adam.
Yeah, Bob Kelly, back in 2014, it was big news when a local police officer in a small town was caught planting hidden cameras to create his own personal stash of child pornography. If they did not know Jeremy Rose before, they definitely remembered his name afterwards, which is why parents were surprised. The school did not notify any students or parents about the sex offender allowed on campus at Bear River High School.
I became aware of this story when the school play program was printed online and Jeremy Rose's name was printed in bold letters, and realized that the Jeremy Rose was the registered sex offender in town.
The sign in front of Bear River High School Theater says no alcohol, no tobacco, no drugs. But what about sex offenders? It's a simple question that the superintendent of Box Elder School District declines to answer.
He's had to run out to some schools.
He's not available today?
He's not.
Well, we made an appointment.
Jeremy Rose used to be an officer with the Tremonton Police Department investigating sex crimes. In 2014, he was caught tricking a high school-aged girl into sending him naked photos and setting up hidden cameras to create his own personal collection of child pornography.
Yeah, it was a really big story. I mean, everyone in town knew who he was.
This woman asked to remain anonymous, but was one of the parents who filed a complaint when she found out Jeremy Rose was out of jail and on campus. Most of the students are too young to remember the news of his arrest.
You don't want that around. This is a high school. I mean, the whole camera thing especially, that's just, you don't know what he's up to, you know.
Did the people in the play not know about it? Like, did they tell anyone?
Hey guys, just a heads up about Curious Savage auditions next week.
When parents started filing complaints, drama teacher Derek Sorensen had no problem answering the question. One of the moms received this email, quote, "From a legal standpoint, he is complying with everything that is asked of him." Then he offered to move the student,
Which I felt was horrendous. The proper response would have been to remove the registered sex offender from the situation.
A few hours after Fox 13 spoke to Superintendent Steve Carlson on the phone, Jeremy Rose was told he would no longer be allowed to volunteer on campus. Carlson said district policies do not require the school to accept anyone as a volunteer.
But I think their hand was probably forced by this news story.
What do you mean by that?
I was sending emails, and I think they were more concerned about saving face.
What process did you go through to see whether you had permission to be on campus?
None. I didn't get permission from anybody.
Jeremy Rose is defending his presence on campus, helping to construct props for the school play.
I did what I would think any father would have done when he's asked to help by his kids.
According to state law, a sex offender may not be in a protected area, such as a school, except when the sex offender must be in a protected area to perform the sex offender's parental responsibilities.
It's really vague on how the law is written, and so you kind of have to make a decision as to what your responsibility is as a parent.
He says he's constructed items for the theater department in the past, but this is the first time he was on campus because the props on stage were too big to move. His daughter, an actress in the play, was going to climb this tree, which he wanted to make safer.
But somebody else could fix the tree, right?
There's a lot to that tree. Maybe somebody else could have done it.
Rose admits while on campus he was in contact with some of the other students. He says on a minimal basis. None of them or their parents were notified of his status as a registered sex offender.
Do you think they should have been notified?
No. I think that as long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and I mean, it's the equivalent of, do I need to go to Walmart and get on the PA and tell everybody at Walmart that I'm on the registry?
In their mind, it's different than going to Walmart. These are minor children.
And I can understand, you know, where they're coming from. I don't have time to be doing other stuff.
Do you have time to tell people your status on the registry?
I guess, I mean, I like to think I don't. I'm a pretty busy guy.
He also says every time he was on campus, he was supervised, usually by his wife or Derek Sorensen, the drama teacher. Parents say their kids told them that's not true.
Every second I was in there, I was on camera. So if anybody ever tried to bring anything up, there you go. I really am not going to speak for Derek, but he's aware of my past and he's been supportive.
I feel like he didn't go through the proper channels to have a volunteer at the school. And I feel like it shows extremely poor judgment. He didn't ask the principal if it would be okay. He didn't ask the superintendent if it would be okay. He just took the word of Jeremy Rose.
Fox 13 has learned Derek Sorensen is now under investigation by the Box Elder School District.
It takes some guts. Honestly, I think he should probably lose his job.
He is actually probably one of the most vigilant people I've ever met. In a perfect world, I would hope that he'd be praised for his willingness to accept people and accept that people can change.
Back at the school, students say changes need to be made.
I feel like that's something me as a student, if I'm going to be around them, I feel like I would deserve to know for like my safety.
I respect that I don't know that they've lived long enough to really I mean, I'm sorry if it in any way made anybody feel uncomfortable or it was never my intent. And I'm sorry.
Jeremy Rose is also under investigation. The Tremonton Police Department forwarded the case to the Weber County Sheriff's Office. Investigators so far are declining to specify whether Jeremy Rose was in fact fulfilling a parental responsibility on campus or simply violating sex offender restrictions.
Yeah, he did horrendous things, but he is also a parent. So I can see him trying to be a parent.
I can't say I sit and worry about it because I really feel like the right people are going to do the right things. I relive my offense every day. It's something that I regret every day. I'm not that guy anymore. And I get, you know, it's hard to prove that, but I'm not that guy anymore.
There have not been any students who have publicly accused Rose of doing anything inappropriate while on campus. As part of its investigation, the Box Elder School District said it would reevaluate its policies and training procedures surrounding volunteers. Some students and parents have recommended mandatory background checks before a volunteer is allowed on campus. Reporting live in studio, Adam Herbets, Fox 13 News, Utah.